Hey, welcome back everyone. We are just getting closer and closer with each and every week that passes by to next year of 2021, which is when the new Star Wars universe is really going to pick up by Disney and Lucasfilm. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, one thing about Disney Star Wars is that yes, we do know that they are now currently in a phase of desperation and damage control to really get things straight with Star Wars. Essentially, what they want to do is they want to bring back a majority of Star Wars Legends content, and they also really want to embrace George Lucas, Jon Favreau, and Dave Filoni and what they're doing with this new universe. So given that Kathleen Kennedy thankfully has little to no creative power over this new expanded universe, they are very much embraced and have a lot of ambition with how they are really developing these new Star Wars movies and TV shows to come, as well as books, novels, and comics. I myself, I'm very impressed with the way things are going with The Mandalorian Season 2. I'm honestly very excited to see what Season 3 and 4 is going to be like on Disney+. Jon Favreau is an excellent guy. He's an excellent creator. He knows what he's doing with Star Wars. I mean, let's not forget that this is a guy that's very passionate when it comes to Star Wars. He really loves and knows what he's doing with this franchise and for the Star Wars fandom. And I think that's exactly why a lot of fans love The Mandalorian, is because it shows. It shows that this guy has a lot of passion and that he really believes in what he is actually developing. So, with that being said, we're now in a position where Kathleen Kennedy is only working on the Leslie Headland Star Wars TV series, thankfully. However, when it comes to Lucasfilm as a company, things are really starting to take shape, and a lot of progress is surprisingly being made throughout this year. Now, specifically, now that George Lucas and Bob Chapek are working very closely together on the new Star Wars universe, they are both described to be hard at work on making drastic changes to the new Star Wars franchise and how it will all be done for the Star Wars fandom. Now, it's explained that though Disney CEO Bob Chapek has plans for George Lucas to become the new Lucasfilm president temporarily, eventually in 2021, it's described that Chapek has all eyes on a very big creator in the Star Wars world to become the new Lucasfilm president. It's said that Bob Chapek is indeed developing a major plan for Jon Favreau to become the permanent Lucasfilm president after George Lucas serves his time temporarily as the new president of Lucasfilm next year. So I don't know if you guys have been following, but next year George Lucas is aimed to become a temporary president of Lucasfilm to handle the overall roadmap of Star Wars and where things are really going. I don't know about you, but I think that's a very good way to go about doing things. Obviously, we know that George Lucas wouldn't be able to handle becoming president of Lucasfilm forever. I mean, he is up there in age. He couldn't do it for, pretty much, a decade or more than that. I would assume that he would want to have pretty much, all the time that he wants on his own hands. But Jon Favreau is the very person that they are looking at right now. Bob Chapek is actually developing a lot of plans for that. Now, Jon Favreau is said to have great interest, of course, after talking about this with Bob Chapek, the new Disney CEO, and that Favreau is said to be very excited about this offer. Now, it's explained, however, that Chapek has plans to regulate Jon Favreau's time between becoming the new president of Lucasfilm, as well as allowing him to create his new Star Wars shows and Star Wars movies at the same exact time. So once again, they're trying to figure out, if Favreau comes on board, how could they really regulate between Favreau being the president of Lucasfilm and also how he would be able to create his own shows and taking a part in new Star Wars movies, etc. That's the big challenge there, of trying to regulate that, trying to even that out, or balance it, if you will. So, obviously we do know that Jon Favreau has had a lot of experience being a writer, an actor, a producer. I mean, he's been all over the place in the film industry. I mean, that's exactly why Bob Chapek and Bob Iger really approve of him becoming the new permanent solution of the president of Lucasfilm. And it's not just that, but Bob Iger actually called him the next George Lucas. In fact, he even said at the Rise of Skywalker premiere that he sees a lot of George Lucas within Jon Favreau, and he's very impressed with what he has actually done so far within the Star Wars world. So like I've said, I think that obviously what they're trying to do is that they're really trying to give fans an avenue to look forward to actually see Star Wars as a franchise grow. And the biggest way to go about doing that is to have a passionate creator that can really lead the Star Wars franchise into a brighter future. Moving on. So with that being said, of course, Favreau is up for the job to do this, however, is described to be a bit undecided about his offer for next year so far. It's described that Jon Favreau is still in the talks about becoming the new president of Lucasfilm, since he is interested to actually bring Star Wars in a better path for the fans around the world to enjoy. Now, it's described also that George Lucas wants Favreau to become the new president and approves of this idea by Bob Chapek. Now, if Favreau does not work out, it's described that they have two other candidates to take over that position within the Star Wars world. Those two other candidates are described to be Dave Filoni and another unnamed creator that is set to join the Star Wars world for both Disney Plus and the new Star Wars movies. So let me stop right here for a second. I honestly do believe that Dave Filoni would be a perfect fit. Say what you will about Jon Favreau, but I feel that Dave Filoni has been around for such a long time that it would only make sense, even all the more so, to make him the legitimate, Lucasfilm president, if you will. That's their backup plan. They actually have a backup of a backup. If Jon Favreau does not work out, they've got Dave Filoni. If that does not work out, they've got another candidate on their hands. So essentially, it seems like a potential four-step process. They've got George Lucas, which is already set in stone. They're going to have him temporarily become the president next year. Then after that, their permanent solution is Jon Favreau. They've already been in the talks with him. Jon Favreau's interested. They're just trying to find ways to regulate between him being the president and actually developing new Star Wars shows and becoming a part of Star Wars movies. In the scenario that does not happen, they have backup plans, which we just discussed. Now, Jon Favreau is a major, interest by Lucasfilm. Bob Iger and Chapek, like I say, they approve of this. They're very much excited to work with Favreau. They really want to do amazing things with Jon in order to really make Star Wars pretty much the way that it used to be before 2012. And I think that they really can pull it off, to say the least, really. Now, further, it's noted that Kathleen Kennedy does not enjoy the fact that Lucas will become a temporary president next year before they decide on the permanent solution. Favreau is described to already be hard at work with The Mandalorian Season 3 and Season 4 in order to make The Mandalorian very popular and successful. Bob Iger is said to also embrace Favreau becoming the new president of Lucasfilm, since he has actually been very much hard at work on multiple new TV shows for Disney Plus. Now, not just that, but also Favreau and Lucas have already talked about this major offer, and that Lucas is already getting prepped to take over this position in the middle of next year to regulate and fix the Star Wars franchise, essentially. Jon Favreau has also been in the talks with Dave Filoni to become a major part of The Mandalorian Season 3 and Season 4 in order to handle Ahsoka Tano in a big way as well, by bringing in Luke Skywalker in the new series for Disney Plus. The fans are very satisfied so far with his direction in Star Wars. So that's the exciting thing here, is that Jon Favreau wants to keep the Skywalkers relevant and alive within The Mandalorian and other TV shows out there. That's what Jon Favreau wants to do, is that he really wants to make it clear that the Skywalkers are the main selling point within the Star Wars world, and that's exactly what they're aiming for. They want to make sure that the Star Wars fans can realize that the Skywalkers are in fact going to continue, maybe not on film, but definitely on Disney Plus in the form of television. We've gone over the fact that they are already developing new Skywalkers as we speak, Cade and Kira Skywalker, that are really going to become a part of this new Star Wars expanded universe that's going to take Star Wars in a different direction. So keep an eye open for that, because that's really going to evolve the Star Wars franchise as we know it. And like I've said, I think that Jon Favreau is a visionary. He knows what he's doing, and I'm very excited to see what it's going to look like in the years to come. So with that being said, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.